Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be talking about the Helldivers 2 drama. This is a situation where Helldivers over the past couple of months has been proving itself as a successful model for a live service game and a potential Game of the Year candidate. However, in only 48 hours, this game and its reputation has completely fallen off, and it probably doesn't surprise you, but the person responsible behind all of this negative attention is, of course, Sony. Now, people on May 3rd were dropping this game very quickly. You can see Iron Mouse here saying, LOL, goodbye, Helldivers. Well, what happened 2 days ago that was so bad? Well, it comes from this announcement on their official Helldivers 2 account here on Twitter. They made this post announcing some major changes coming to this game and some account linking information that you will have to follow. Now, let's read this message. So, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of our safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studio games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. So this is a very, very serious change. To a lot of people, this may not seem like a lot, but this, when you look at the details of what it means to get a PSN account set up, this is a big deal. And the reviews speak for themselves. This giant drop-off was the response to this PSN announcement. And you can see right now, as of the morning of recording this video, the negative reviews have taken effect. Despite the overwhelming success of this game for months, the overall all-time reviews is now below 50% positive with a mixed overall review, and the recent reviews are now overwhelmingly negative with only 17% of the over 200,000 recent reviews being positive. This is a huge drop-off, and of course in this situation there's no one to blame other than Sony. Unfortunately, Arrowhead is at the mercy of Sony. They're on track to be Game of the Year with Helldivers 2, and then Sony swoops in with this set of changes and it's completely derailed their success, and now people are angry. They're review bombing Helldivers 2, and now they're asking for refunds. Now, what is the reason? Why is this so important for Sony that they're willing to tank Helldivers 2? Well, a lot of their claims is that this has to do with the safety of players. And this is reflected by some of the messages of one of their community managers here, Misty, one of the Helldivers 2 community managers, saying, no, it's to allow us to ban people. That's the sole reason for these changes. Where this user says, so you couldn't ban people before? That's a lie. And then the community manager says this, we could, but this increases the effectiveness of what we can do. And as you can see, this community manager here has gone private, like several others from Arrowhead and some of the related platforms here. And that's terrible. What else are you here for? These community managers, you're responsible for dealing with situations like this. You're facing a PR nightmare, a very terrible situation, and your community managers go into hiding. It's a terrible look. However, while they're going private, some of the biggest Sony simps are doing everything in their power to defend this billion-dollar company from fair criticism, including reactions like this. We're going to watch this TikTok real quick. A lot of people are trying to excuse what is happening in this PSN requirement because they believe it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, time to play some Halo. Hey, Microsoft here. You're gonna need an Xbox account to play Halo. Sure, that's no big deal. I'll go ahead and make an account real quick. Also, I think I'm gonna download Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hey, Rockstar here. You're actually gonna need to make a Rockstar account to play Red Dead 2 as well.
That's fine. As long as I can play Red Dead Redemption 2, I am happy. I'm also thinking about playing some Helldivers 2 as well.
Hey, Sony here.
Oh no you don't, PlayStation. How dare you?
What?
Making me create an account to play a game is absolutely wrong. I can't believe you would stoop so low against us PC players.
Hey, Ubisoft here. I saw that you have Rainbow Six downloaded on Steam. You're gonna need a Ubisoft account if you want to play it.
Oh, sure. No problem.
So as you can see in the replies to that TikTok being shared on Twitter, a lot of people are pointing out the disingenuous nature of that attitude. This is way beyond just making a new account. There's a lot of concerns and limits that come with linking a PSN account to your Steam account. You can see here, this fight to get people to sign up with their PSN is something being pushed by other community managers like this Spitz individual on Discord. This individual right here would be the focus of a lot of attention, and a lot of it very negative, but they began by making this post shortly after the PSN announcement saying, it's not like this is the first or even the 14th mainstream game to require a third-party account that takes a couple of minutes to create. But if it's a deal breaker to have to take 120 seconds of your day to enter an email and password and then forget about it, change your Steam review and make your displeasure known on a platform where it matters. Honestly, the 120-second requirement to sign up with a third-party account to play a game, that's a valid enough reason in and of itself. But we're not just dealing with any third party here. We're dealing with Sony. And that's reflected in one of the highest rated negative reviews here, where this individual says, yeah, I'm not linking my account to PSN. And they list all of the recent hacks of personal data from Sony PlayStation Network users. Multiple hacks in 2011, another one in 2014, another one in 2017, and then 2 different breaches of private data in late 2023. It hasn't even been a year since the last pair of this happened. And yes, other companies like Steam have been breached before, but not to the level that Sony has been breached. There is very valid security concerns that you should have when you're creating a PSN account. Now, going beyond that, even if you have the opportunity in your country to create a PSN account, you might be given additional requirements like this. This is, for example, a United Kingdom user. In order to create a PSN account so you can play Helldivers 2, you have to give a facial scan or your government ID. Besides the very invasive nature of giving this stuff to a random third party that you have to trust or respect your privacy, this is insane. This is a step to ban not only your account, but you. That is why they're collecting this biometric information. So normally if you get banned from whatever account, you can either, even if you're IP banned, you can just get a VPN and reroute yourself and create a new account. But in this case, in order to play games, you have to have this PSN account that's requiring your biometrics. So if you get banned once, they're not just banning your account, they're banning you. They're banning your face. You will not be able to create a new account no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you try. Your face will get you banned and prevent you from getting a new account. That's very, very serious stuff. So when they're talking about banning becoming easier, that's what they mean. This is a very, very, really dystopian level of collecting your information to prevent you from creating multiple accounts. And also I saw some people try to dismiss this, like with the UK, for example, saying, oh, it's just the UK. That's millions and millions of people, and that's not the only country where there's these biometric requirements. So I don't think that's a very valid way to dismiss these really over-the-top requirements just to play Helldivers 2. And beyond that, this is what people really underestimated. PSN is not available in the vast majority of countries in the world. We are literally at a point right here where some are claiming that there's 177 countries that are unable to create a PSN account within it. That's basically the whole world, if you didn't know that. That leaves less than 24 countries where you can even create a PSN account to play Helldivers 2 for some reason, and games like that. And worse yet, oh, maybe you should have known that you couldn't have created a PSN account in your country before you bought Helldivers 2. Well, yeah, you probably weren't aware because Sony is doing a bait and switch on this situation. They have changed some of their rules involving the requirements of having a PSN to play certain games on PC. You can see right here, before May 3rd, before this announcement, do I have to sign into a PSN to play a PlayStation game on PC? And here it says signing into a PSN is optional when playing a PlayStation game on PC. Now, after May 3rd, that same language was changed to some PlayStation games may require you to sign in and link to an account for PSN. So they went from optional to you may be required in some cases. They tried to do a bait and switch, which a lot of people are pointing out as, yeah, this is a scam. This might be a scam right here because people bought the game before May 3rd requiring or relying on this information right here that it's an optional PSN link. But now, after May 3rd, it's no longer optional for certain games like Helldivers 2, which, yeah, that seems like a bait and switch to me. And don't think about changing your IP to avoid countries where it's banned. You know, if you try to reroute to a country where you can set up a PSN or even a PSN without the biometric requirements, you might want to be a little bit careful doing that, because right in Sony's TOS, they hold the rights to terminate and suspend your account if you lie about certain information in your account creation process, including the location of where you're setting up your account. If you lie about that, you might actually get banned for life. So they are really clamping down on all directions here. And of course, even with some of the initial concerns, these community managers like Spitz were initially kind of blowing off people saying, I thought you were refunding and leaving. Well, yes, a lot of people were leaving, and as this got more and more serious and the review bombing got worse and worse, we saw a change in tune for a lot of these people who were initially mocking the outrage of Helldivers 2 players. And you can see here that community manager we mentioned earlier, Spitz, they had a bit of a change up. Whether authentic or not, here were some of their updates. So they say this: internal discussions are ongoing about the mandatory linking change, and while I can't reveal details, the response from our dev teams has been pretty universally negative, and we're looking for better options. If a better solution isn't provided for players who are in regions without PSN coverage, I'm assured that we won't be making the requirement mandatory for those players. We're not going to force people to either break Sony TOS or not play the game. That change, the Steam announcement, and the FAQ are all coming from Sony and not our team at Arrowhead. Yeah, I was completely unaware of how many countries didn't have the ability to make a PSN account when I made that statement. I deeply regret implying that it was so easy for everyone to just sign up and not have to worry about it. It's absolutely not our intention to force people to break Sony TOS or just not play the game if they're in a restricted region. There needs to be a better solution. Players making their displeasure known through reviews, refunds, etc. give us more pull in our discussions with Sony. They don't read our Discord. It hurts to see the game's popularity suffer in ratings, but discussions are ongoing and our team is on the side of the players in this fight. It's unrealistic to expect people to make PSN accounts in different regions to get past the account linking requirement. We're aware of that discussions. We are aware that the discussions are ongoing. So basically, this is a very bold thing for this Spitz individual to say. They're encouraging people to leave negative reviews on Steam for Helldivers 2. Spitz here might be losing their position as a community manager, but what they're doing here is pretty ballsy, to say the least, okay? And I'm glad to see the switch around. Again, maybe it's not authentic, but they are encouraging people to do the one thing they can do, and that is to leave negative reviews and to request refunds, because that will be a bargaining chip for Arrowhead to say, hey, we can't go through with this, Sony. This is really bad. This is hurting our game. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be enough motivation to make Sony scale back these changes. Will that happen? I don't know. Sony is hell-bent on damaging their own products at this point, even if they're on the way towards great success or have already established themselves as successful. Sony keeps messing these games up. And right now it's being reported this morning that some people are claiming that they're getting successful refunds. I've seen some mixed reviews on this. I've seen some people get their refund request denied. I've seen some people get it granted. So it's not entirely clear right now what the truth is, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, how else are they going to handle this situation? They're doing a rug pull based on region availability of PSN accounts. How could they possibly not give people refunds? It seems genuinely like it might be illegal at this point. But yeah, this is just something that's going on. If you're thinking about getting a refund, I would suggest trying at the very least. And maybe you'll have some luck if you're upset about these changes with Helldivers 2. And again, that's just another bargaining chip to show Sony that this is a terrible path that they're taking. This was one of the worst changes we've seen in gaming history. We have not seen such a universal negative response to this change, and still, we wonder if Sony's going to actually listen. It's against their own interests to keep going with this, and yet people don't have faith that they're going to listen. And it just seems totally counterproductive, even from their own business standpoint. But at this point, all we can do is really just kind of sit back and wait. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.